Do you ever dream about food? Well, I do. And last week, I woke up from a dream about one of my favorite Louisiana seafood restaurants and realized it had been years since I had been there. So I cranked up Red Ryder and pointed her south. As I headed out on this beautiful fall morning, I had one thing on my mind: catfish. Yes, catfish. But not any old catfish. I was thinking about catfish sliced razor thin, dipped in a delicate batter and fried golden brown. The kind of catfish you only get at one of Louisiana's oldest and most famous seafood restaurants, Middendorf's. It was a beautiful day as I headed east on LA 22 toward Ponchatoula. A ride along the Amite River was the perfect thing to complement my Louisiana seafood mood. At Ponchatoula, I bypassed the interstate and instead turned right on old U.S. Highway 51 for the final leg of my ride to Middendorf's. I love riding on this portion of the old highway, which was pretty much replaced by I-55 some 50 years ago. Today, the old road is primarily used by fishermen and locals, so traffic is always light. And although it's no longer the main thoroughfare, it's well maintained and straight as an arrow, just begging you to roll on the throttle. But avoid the temptation. It's also a favorite of local law enforcement radar units. Besides, it's a short and very pleasant ride, and before you know it, you'll see past Manchac Bridge and Middendorf's on your left. Guess what? Lunchtime. I'm hungry. We're at one of my favorite places in the entire world. I think this is the only place that I ever eat catfish because you can't find any better than this at Middendorf's. All right, thank you. Ooh, that looks so yummy. Ooh. Mm. Oh my gosh, look how thin that is. Wow. This is the thin part. Let me show you that. Look at that. Look how thin that is. Whoops. Look how thin that is. That is just as wonderful as I remember. Middendorf's has been serving up its famous thin fried catfish since 1934, when Louis Middendorf and his wife Josie opened the doors to their little cafe. In 2007, New Orleans chef Horst Pfeiffer took over operations when he and his wife Karen purchased the restaurant from the Middendorf family. Horst, by the way, has added a little German flair to the seafood restaurant with the German name, instituting an annual 6-week-long Oktoberfest celebration featuring authentic German food. Well, I had a great ride over here, beautiful scenery coming up to Middendorf's, and as always, the food was excellent. That thin fried catfish can't be beat. So you got to try Middendorf's, and if you haven't, I don't believe it. Everybody knows about Middendorf's. By the way, Middendorf's has a full menu featuring all kinds of seafood, and they even serve chicken and steaks. Funny though, in all my visits here over the last 20 years, I have never tried anything but the thin fried catfish. It is just that good.